Hello everybody and welcome to another session of Scuba Talk. My name is Scuba Dave and today I just wanted to do a brief informational on when you go to buy a cylinder, whether it be a new cylinder, a used cylinder. You want to be able to understand what the writings are on the cylinder so you know exactly what it is that you're buying. There's nothing like whether you're at a yard sale, garage sale, and somebody's trying to sell a cylinder and they're making you, a cheap price, but is it worth that cheap price? What are you buying? Okay. There are tanks out there that are called Luxfer tanks. Luxfer tanks, the newer ones, are still good tanks, okay? Just like Catalina tanks. However, there are some tanks out there that if you buy them, you have to get what is called a eddy current inspection every time they go to get filled, okay? And that's added money per air fill, okay? Unless you work something out with whoever is filling your scuba cylinders, okay, it's going to cost you more than the $5 or $10, whatever it is you're paying for your air fill. So, you just want to make sure you know what you're buying. You want to make sure, everything's good. So, if I was to be at a garage sale or at a swap meet, okay, and I see a pony bottle, that's what this is. This is a 30 cubic foot pony bottle. And I see it, guy gives me a price on it, but is it worth it? I mean, the paint is chipping, okay, but I can always repaint it as long as I don't bake the paint, okay? If I use natural drying paint, I can cover that up, okay? But it's aluminum. One thing I want to inspect is I want to look and see the visual sticker, okay? I want to make sure it's got a current or really close current visual sticker. Normally people that are selling tanks at a garage sale, yard sale, whatever, Craigslist, eBay, whatever, sometimes these have sit for a very long time, okay? What I always do if I'm looking in the market for a tank, I'll smell the air. If there's any air in there, I'll open it up, take my hand, and I'll cup it and I'll try to get a smell. If it has a really high sweet smell, chances are there's probably corrosion already started inside the tank. At that point, you might want to work out the deal of, I'm going to take it to my dive shop. They're going to do a visual inspection on it because they're going to want to do it anyway. Do a visual inspection on it. If it's corroded and the tank can't be saved, I want to get my money back, okay? So a couple things to be thinking about when you're buying a tank. Otherwise, there are people out there, I have seen it, that they have the old Luxfer tanks and they have been condemned, okay, here in the U.S. because they're susceptible to neck cracks during filling. And there's not a dive shop in the world that's going to fill it, well, in the United States, because they could be filling that thing, and if that neck snaps, right, somebody can get hurt, okay? So that's why you really want to make sure, because there are people out there, they are selling those tanks, and they're not telling you about it. The reason they're selling it, and the reason they're selling them so cheap, is because they know that they can't get those tanks filled, and so they're going to try to pawn it off on you, okay, and now you're out 30, 60, $100, whatever they're going to get you for, and you have no recourse, okay? Right? Remember the law, buyer beware, right? So let's beware, okay? So we want to look, we want to make sure we got a decent Viz sticker here. Make sure, it doesn't have to be current, but real close. You don't want the last Viz sticker on the tank to be, 20 years old, okay? That's all I'm saying. You want it to be within about 2-3 years, okay? Then smell the air in it. If it has air, smell it. If it has a real sweet smell, you kind of know what you're getting into, okay? So the other things we want to look at is you want to look at the valve, okay? is the valve in good shape? Okay. Does it turn on, turn off? Okay. Sometimes in here, the little pin, that's the critical part to the valve. Sometimes they get bent because when people take these off, they want to take the valve off the cylinder, they take a mullet hammer and they beat on it. Well, where do they beat? They beat right here. And that's not what you should do. Okay? Get a nice big crescent wrench, put it up here, okay? And then you can tap on the crescent wrench, or I use the palm of my hand, because these aren't put on very tight, okay? These aren't put on very tight, so you should be able to loosen it up if there's no air in it, okay? And that's how they do your visual inspection. They have a big light rod, they stick it down there, and they can see. Trying to take a flashlight and sticking it down there, you're not going to see. Okay, it's just going to shine back up at you. You're not going to see. You need the special. It's a real skinny. It's got LED lights all the way down it, and they stick it down in the tank, and they can see. Okay, my next episode, or one of my next episodes, I'm going to go over a visual inspection, how they do it, how you can check your own tank. Okay. Because it's more than just sticking a light. You want to check the threads and stuff. We'll go over that in a later video. So here I come. I'm looking at this person's tank, and then I want to go, and I'm hoping the other camera over here is going to come in tight and get these writings for you. But the first one that we see here at the top is Canadian. Okay, it says TC. That's Canadians Transportation. Okay, just like DOT is for the United States, this is TC. So therefore, could I take this to Canada if I was going to go up there and dive? Yes, I could. Okay, and it has their number. Okay, as I roll it around, well, let's start. And then right below that, on this tank, it has DOT, Department of Transportation. Okay, and what it says it's 3AL, which is aluminum. Okay, and it tells me 3,000 PSI. Okay, if I keep coming around, now it has the cylinder's number. Okay, it's a good thing to write these down, have them in a safe place, store them on your computer somewhere. If your stuff ever gets stolen out of your vehicle while you're diving or something, you have something to file a claim against. Okay, and maybe they catch the bad people and they can match up the serial numbers. Boom, you get your stuff back. Okay, hopefully. Okay, the next set is you're going to see the manufacturer, Luxfer. On this tank, this is a Luxfer. Okay, we keep coming around, and this, the very bottom one here that I'm pointing to, is the very first hydro date. It's 09 of 2000. That's when this tank was made. Okay, in between them, sometimes you'll see like an @ symbol. This actually has Luxfer's like stamp. So if it didn't say Luxfer on the tank, you could look right here, and with their little indigit, you'll recognize that as Luxfer's mark. That tells you right there it's a Luxfer tank. Okay, and then above that you can see where I've had this rehydroed. Every 5 years, right, we have to have it rehydroed. And so we have it rehydroed, okay? And then coming around, okay, this next number that we see here, it says SO30, okay? What that's telling you is the size, and it's a 30 cubic foot. If this was an 80 cubic foot cylinder, it would say SO80, okay? If it's a 120, it would tell you 120, SO120, okay? Or it might just say 120, okay? So, or a 90, or a 100, right? That's another popular. It would just say 100 or SO100, okay? So that's the markings on the tank that you should make sure you understand them, okay? Because when you go looking for cylinders, right, you want to make sure what you're buying. I could tell you this is a 45 all day long, but if you don't know what that 30 over there meant, you might believe it's a 45. I've already got your money and away you went, and you got stuck with a 30 when you wanted a 45, right? You come back to my house all you want to complain. I mean, sorry, bud, sale's a sale. That's what they're going to tell you, right? So we want to be smart, okay? So that's on this tank, and that's a Luxfer, okay? I have a Catalina tank. Let me get it up here. Now this might be harder to see because it's a black tank, okay? But it's basically the same, has the same numberings, except on a Catalina tank, aluminum Catalina tank, okay? The number is going to start out as ASO, and then a number, your tank serial number. But it's all going to be the same. Let me see if I can't get the camera to get you a better shot here. Okay, but it's all going to be the same. Numbering's all going to be the same. Different serial number, obviously. Okay. Again, you want to check the valve, make sure it's all in good shape. Okay, so that's about it. I wish I had a different tank other than a black one to show you the SO80 on there. I wanted you to see that part, but the camera's just not going to pick that up. So okay, but again, if you have any questions concerning your own tanks, feel free. Send me an email or comment down below. My name is Scuba Dave, and my email address is scubadave94@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to any questions. If you want to ask, please feel free. Keep diving, have fun, be safe.